I'm Brian Mays, and welcome to our look at Back to School 2025. Students across Central Texas are returning to classrooms this month as summer vacation officially comes to an end. Thousands of kids with new backpacks, fresh supplies, and eager faces will be filling school classrooms this August as the official 2025-26 school year gets underway. Over the next half hour, our KVUE News team will bring you the very latest information on what to expect in the classroom as the school year gets underway. Much of the focus this year is on student and teacher safety, from panic alarms to new rules about backpacks. We'll also look at the potential impact of a new school cell phone ban, and we'll meet some very special people who are giving their time and energy to help families who are not able to afford school clothing and supplies, including those affected by recent floods. But first, KVUE's Adam Bennett tells us about the Round Rock School District's project to roll out new technology to protect kids and teachers.
A new school year at Round Rock ISD means new students and staff.
And everybody is ready to welcome them back.
And new technology to protect them.
We're ready to go on launch for the school year.
Ready, Superintendent Dr. Hafed Azay says, to comply with Alyssa's law. It requires silent panic alarms in each classroom in public schools and charter schools across Texas.
We hope we never have to use these tools.
On every phone, you'll find a button like this one. It goes directly to police, whether you're in an office like this one or any classroom on any campus.
A push of those buttons or a 911 call alerts law enforcement and key staff and locks the doors.
Not just they're gonna know what campus, but they will know exactly what classroom.
When the alert comes in, it's gonna pull up the map of the school that the alert was triggered in.
Rich Andriucci is the district's director of safety and security. He showed me the software by running through a drill involving a threat in the cafeteria.
I got the notification here on the side of the screen. It showed I also got a text message. I can click on any of the cameras in the cafeteria and have a live view of what's going on.
The software also lets users unlock doors for first responders. We agreed not to show Andriucci's screen to avoid sharing school maps and camera locations.
You're talking about in a situation where every second counts. You're getting literally real-time information.
To the second.
We asked the Texas Education Agency which districts are compliant with Alyssa's law and what consequences they'll face if they aren't. In response, the agency wrote, quote, as of June 2025, 98% of school districts reported as being compliant with state requirements for silent panic alert technology, Alyssa's law. TEA continues to provide technical assistance to districts that are still implementing the technology. New technology to help this district's longtime goal.
Go straight to where the threat is and hopefully eliminate the threat.
Of kids leaving campus as safely as they arrive.
Round Rock ISD starts class on Tuesday. The state of Texas dedicated more than $17 million specifically to implement silent panic alert technology in schools. Meanwhile, Alyssa's parents founded an organization, MakeOurSchoolSafe.org, dedicated to enhancing school safety, including advocating for silent panic alarms in schools nationwide. In the studio, Adam Bennett, KVUE News.
Speaking of school safety, the students who return to classes in the Lockhart School District will see a change to the dress code this year. Students are now required there to have clear backpacks. This comes after a student was arrested at one of their campuses back in February for bringing a gun to school. KVUE's Brianna Perez explains why some parents say this won't solve the problem.
Students at Lockhart ISD gearing up to head back to the classroom, but now with some changes. Now all students will be required to use clear backpacks.
Some parents wanted an extra layer of safety, just so that kids, when they come to school, they know that everyone's safe, that there's nothing to worry about at school.
The policy change comes after a student brought a gun to the Lockhart Junior High campus earlier this year. According to the campus, while no threats were made, they made the decision to require clear bags on that campus in the spring semester.
Like all schools in our country and in our state, you have the threats that happen, towards schools. You have a lot of those types of events happening, and an accumulation of those types of things is what triggered this.
While some parents believe this district-wide change is a step in the right direction, some say clear bags may create other problems.
It's not a remedy, but I guess they're trying to do a precaution. But then again, it's not like 100% will help the situation.
LISD parent Rochelle Martin says she worries this will lead to more theft, less privacy for students, and backpacks breaking more easily. She says clear bags aren't a fix on their own.
Put some metal detectors, gun detectors, stuff like that. I think that will be a good precaution. With a lot of these things going around, you can't trust anything.
Some of the biggest concerns about safety for students centers on the thousands of kids who ride the school bus every day. Austin School District leaders are making a stronger attempt this year to help prevent drivers from illegally passing school buses. KVUE's Jessica Cha tells us more about the program.
Over the last 4 to 5 weeks, crews have been working to install stop-arm cameras on all of AISD's 519 special education and general buses. They have cameras on the front, the back, and both sides of the bus to capture drivers who are illegally passing school buses that are stopped and dropping off kids. Chris Havazizadeh, Austin ISD's Transportation Executive Director, says too often motorists illegally pass their school buses while kids are getting on and off. In the 2023-2024 school year alone, AISD issued 9,114 citations to violators. And in just the last month, while buses took kids to summer classes and activities, he says they issued over 500 citations. Havazizadeh says cars have hit and injured students before, and they hope that the cameras hold drivers accountable and deter them from making the same mistake again.
When you see our stop sign is out and the red lights are on, that means we are loading and unloading students. Be very careful with that, please, because one incident can be really disastrous. One incident is too many.
The stop-arm cameras are part of an initiative AISD started in 2016. He says the cameras are provided by, installed by, and maintained by the vendor Bus Patrol at no cost to the school district. Just like the tollway system, these cameras can also capture license plate information. So if they catch you illegally passing a stopped school bus, you could get a $300 ticket in the mail. In Austin, Jessica Cha, KVUE News.
A new state law banning cell phones on campus will go into effect this school year in Texas. The goal to eliminate distractions for students. Here's more from KVUE's Kelsey Sanchez.
The halls of Lake Travis High School are eerily quiet. That'll change August 13th.
We've got a lot of things that are going on that are exciting, but also at the same time are going to be a little bit of a challenge, right?
James Bush is the school's new principal. The challenges he's talking about? Students getting used to not using their phones on campus.
We're not saying that the cell phone is eliminated, don't bring it to campus at all. We're telling our students to put it away for the day.
A new state law bans students from not only using their phones, but Apple Watches, laptops, or other personal electronic devices in the classroom.
When they get here, there'll be signage all over the place, right? And then absolutely, we know that we're going to have to remind our students several times throughout the day about that process, especially early on.
So what are the consequences? Bush says the first strike, your phone will be taken away. The second strike, a parent or guardian will have to come to campus to pick it up. And the third time, there will be consequences, which can vary by campus. Chantel Sokorak is a parent to an incoming 9th grader and an incoming senior. Because Lake Travis ISD already had a cell phone ban for K-8 students last year, she knew what to expect.
My first reaction was not positive, and I will admit that it ended up being a lot better than I initially thought.
Sokorak says the pro of eliminating distractions doesn't outweigh the cons, like communicating with kids during an emergency.
I think it's going to be really difficult to go from having the immediacy of phones to now stepping back and saying, well, now everything has to be on email.
Bush says in emergency situations, teachers and staff will have the tools to inform parents.
Our teachers are going to have technology that's in their hands that immediately gives them the ability to basically press a button, make an immediate response that something terrible or an accident is happening.
School districts have until September 18th to lay out their policies. So while leaders prepare for these halls to be filled, parents like Sokarak hope the transition is smooth.
This is a really tricky couple of years that we're going into.
In Lake Travis, Kelsey Sanchez, KVUE News.
The floods that struck the hill country and parts of central Texas back in early July have had an impact on how some kids will be trying to get to the school this month. Hardest hit are the families that use the Cow Creek Bridge to get their kids to school. That bridge washed out, and even though a replacement is under construction, it takes a lot longer to get kids to school. Here's more from KVUE's Brianna Perez.
Reconstruction on Cow Creek Bridge starting to take shape.
Contract has 60 days to completion date, and we are well within the framework of finishing the project in 60 days and possibly even sooner.
Tugger Ferguson with TxDOT says the new bridge will be higher and wider than the old one to help it withstand future floodwaters.
The opening is larger, it's stronger, and would withstand that same type of storm.
Ferguson says crews are currently installing the bridge beams and plan to start placing the deck early next week. TxDOT says work on Cow Creek Bridge is over halfway done. But with the detour of 40 miles, parents in the area say they worry about how this will impact their commutes to and from school.
The Marble Falls School would have taken us about 35 minutes. And now it's going to take us at least an hour and a half. So you're talking 3 hours each trip. That's 6 hours out of a person's day to take their child to school and back. And that's just unheard of.
Dory Bennett lives in the Travis Peak neighborhood and used the bridge often. She's a guardian to a Marble Falls ISD student. But since the bridge was washed out, she's been considering other options.
So do I have to get a transfer now to Leander or Cedar Park schools? Do we go back to virtual school in the meantime till you can get to school? I mean, we just wish somebody would let us know what the next steps are.
We reached out to Marble Falls ISD to ask about transportation plans. A spokesperson says they're working with 5 families affected by construction. They're all returning students attending the high school. They say the district added a bus stop about 14 miles from the school where parents can drop off students, and it'll be used until bridge work is finished. Reporting near Lago Vista, Brianna Perez, KVUE News.
The new school year follows a month of unimaginable loss for some Leander ISD families. The floods last month destroyed homes, leaving people with nothing. KVUE's Allison Martinez shows us one school district employee who's going above and beyond to make sure students don't start the school year empty-handed.
For some Leander students, the day starts with a big smile and a wave from Felicia Whaley on the school bus, or as the kids know her, Miss Felicia.
I just love them like they're my little chickens and I'm responsible for them, so I take good care of them.
This fall, Felicia's back on her same route. Same stops, same kids, but for many families along Sandy Creek, nothing is the same after the devastating 4th of July weekend floods.
So then I thought, I really wanted to make an impact on these families, and first thing I thought of was the kids. They're going to start school. They've lost everything. Some of them have lost parents.
Today, hundreds of backpacks line Felicia's floor. Each one is packed to the brim with school supplies, ready for those who need it most.
They have taken over my living room, and in fact, the Amazon guy probably thinks I have a shopping addiction.
Felicia's single act of kindness has grown larger than her living room. Fellow school bus drivers helped, and a community that spreads far beyond her Leander bus route.
He or she just put school bus driver from Mississippi, bus 15. I mean, I don't know who that person is, but that's how it's gone.
Now she's gearing up for the big giveaway this Saturday at Nameless Saloon.
I think it's going to be better than Christmas for these kids and their parents. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it.
For Leander students, Miss Felicia is the bus driver who goes the extra mile every day, but when it matters the most, she drives even further. In Leander, Allison Martinez, KVUE News.
There's a nonprofit organization in Austin that's working to help undocumented immigrant families during a stepped-up time of enforcement of federal immigration laws. KVUE's Kelsey Sanchez has more.
Chanel Cervantes is getting ready for a presentation. She's a camper and intern at El Buen Samaritano, the Good Samaritan. It's a nonprofit group which also serves as a summer camp.
I help coordinate all the things we do. I help serve meals, and I just monitor.
Cervantes and some of her fellow campers are gearing up for a new adventure, high school.
I'm looking forward to making new friends because some of the friends I already had in middle school, they're going to other high schools.
And Cervantes isn't the only one prepping. Staff at Ed Buen are loading 1,000 backpacks filled with school supplies for this Saturday's Back to School drive. It's an annual event CEO Rosa Maria Murillo says is for the entire community, though the majority of the families they serve are Latinos.
It's very important for us to let them know that we stand with them and that we're here for them.
Because as students and teachers enter the new school year, they're not just coming in with first day jitters.
I'm just really worried for all the other people that have lost their families. I just feel if we don't show that we're scared and if we just keep moving on with our daily lives, then it'll hopefully go back to normal.
Murillo says she knows of other nonprofit partners who have gone into hiding out of fear that immigration officers could show up to their events. But that's not something she said Ed Buen is going to do.
Oftentimes we are one of the only places that they have to come and access. So as long as they're coming, we're going to stand here and provide those services. And if they don't, we will go seek them out.
So the focus will be just like every year, serving kids and doing what they can do to provide supplies when families can't. In South Austin, Kelsey Sanchez, KVUE News.
While much of our focus has been on public school students, a new school year is an important milestone for thousands who attend one of our many universities in the area. And they'll be going back to college as artificial intelligence, or AI, is having a huge impact on education. KVUE's Malia Masamoto reports from the University of Texas at Austin.
New technology has become a constant over the last few years. Some are fearful of the change. But for one professor in the engineering school at UT, AI has become an extra set of hands to help tutor her students.
And all of that, it gives examples.
Nina Taylung has taught at UT for more than 20 years. But since ChatGPT came around, her courses have evolved.
The idea that this AI tool can be used as a tutor, and that is, I think, a huge value for the student.
She's been using an AI platform one of her former students created. It's a personalized tutor that's trained on her course materials.
I've uploaded my own materials here. The student can ask a question.
A tool Taylung says can supplement classroom learning.
I'm thinking of a student who is feeling shy to ask a question in class, or the classroom, I need to cover XYZ concepts in the class because I have only 75 minutes, and then we move on.
In previous years, she said her courses were split evenly between assignments and assessments. But because of the AI assistance, there's more of an emphasis on testing. This fall, more UT classrooms will use a platform called Sage, similar to the one Taylung's student created.
We want students to innovate and use and adopt technology, but we want them to do it in a way that is ethical and has integrity.
This past spring, UT updated their AI framework. Of the 8 principles for using AI responsibly, they said the one most talked about was relationships.
Using in AI in ways that foster those connections rather than diminishing or replacing them. And so I think one of the interesting things that we're doing is really trying to lean into the importance of that relationship.
It's also what Taylung hopes for her students, that along with the benefits of AI, they come to appreciate her class as a place to interact with real people.
This is how you build that foundation and that knowledge base and those critical thinking skills.
In Austin, Malia Masamoto, KVUE News.
Whether it's AI or other new technologies to help students learn, some things about a new school year haven't changed much over the years. Our final report today reminds us of what the first day of school was like back when Texas schools were dealing with tough new state laws. KVUE's Bob Buckaloo takes a look back at those first days of school in the 1980s.
The first day of school in Austin 42 years ago. Looking back at KVUE News coverage of back-to-school stories from the 1980s shows some common themes, such as overcrowding at schools, school busing, and the impact of Texas education reforms. In this 1981 news story, an example of how Austin was dealing with sudden growth even back then, an issue that continues to face some area school administrators even today. KVUE reporter Kay Vinson.
Over 100 sixth graders have been moved into the gymnasium because of a shortage of classrooms. Instead of walls, the only partitions are movable blackboards. And as if
Another challenge, long rides to and from school on buses. KVUE reporter Michelle Cheney.
School boundaries and the busing of thousands of students continues to be a dilemma for some parents and school trustees. A study has been launched to try and even out any unfairness in busing patterns.
Schools across Texas also had to deal with the impact of education reforms from the state legislature. Among the changes then, students could not participate in extracurricular activities if they were failing a course. It was known as no pass, no play. KVUE reporter Arthel Neville.
Teachers in the Austin Independent School District will now receive higher pay, and sometime during the school year, teachers as well as school administrators will have to take a mandatory competency test.
To the republic for which it stands.
But not all back-to-school stories from the 80s dealt with such serious topics. It's fun to look back at the way school kids dressed back then, and to see the look of bewilderment on their faces as a new school year began. Oh, there's one more thing to think about. Those cute kids in our back-to-school coverage from the 1980s.
Smile, little Ray. Smiling.
Well, they're in their 50s now. Bob Buckaloo, KVUE News.
We hope you've enjoyed this look back to school 2025. From all of us at KVUE News, we wish you a safe, happy, and successful school year.